And we are live. All right, everybody. Welcome to Happy Crumpin' Wargaming. We are super excited to have everyone here. We've got Mr. Felix in the house. Mr. Felix, um, there you go, my man.
What's up, guys?
Would you like to introduce yourself? I think everyone knows you, but if you'd like to say a few words real quick.
Yeah. Right. So, for those of you who are new to the channel or haven't seen my channel, we'll drop a link to that later. So, shameless self-advertisement.
Absolutely.
No. I play a lot of I play Orks and Votan, and I'm a part of Team Sweden for the extended team. That's pretty much it. Mainly playing Orks right now, of course, because Votan are not looking hot. But I'm always happy to help, and I'm pretty much hanging around in the Orc Discord a lot, trying to help people out and hang out in the. We'll drop the link to that one as well. It's a great place if you're starting out competitive, because we're a lot of both Johnny and I are quite active there, and we try and help people.
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, Mr. Felix here is the resident math nerd. So we always ask him our questions for the math. We've got some people in the chat. We've got Tomcat with the big orc face. We've got Mr. Creevy with a big Waaagh. Mr. Basic with a big Waaagh. And Mr. Patchumane, hello, with a little O face. All right. I respect the O face. Anyway, so what we're doing today is we're going to give our updated thoughts on the tactical tier list that we posted at the beginning of 10th edition, because we have learned a lot about this edition. And currently, I am absolutely representing the Waaagh, the Speed Waaagh, actually. Unfortunately, that's not going to be very high up on the tier list, but the shirt is very high. So we are going to be bringing it. Today, I am drinking a lime-infused ale. And what are you drinking, Mr. Felix?
Oh, so it's a Swedish brand, I think, Mariestad, a beer.
A beer. All right, fair enough, sir. Cheers to you, Skål.
Skål.
All right, so let's get this going, baby. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and define very quickly for you guys what an S tier is, what an A tier is, B, C, and D tier is. And then this video will not take quite as long as our original one is, because we might not have a lot of extra stuff to say about some of the units. But some of the things that we were either wrong about on either overestimating or underestimating, we might go a little bit more into detail today. So real fast, the way we have decided to classify all this is our S tier stuff. Think about this as these are the units in our army that every other army in the game would beg to have in their lineup. You don't have to take this model, but you better have a damn good reason for not taking these units. And that is our S tier stuff. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Then we're going to have our A tier. And these are just great, solid units that are going to slot into any list, and they're going to perform the way that you need them to perform. You're either taking them for the points value or for the damage dealing or whatever, but these are just great, solid units. Then we're going to be having our B tier units, and these are actually kind of similar to A tier, just a little bit less so. And I think some of you guys will be happy to see that, yes, we might be upgrading a few of our C tier units from the previous list into the B tier. Our C tier is going to be the stuff that's just, honestly, it sucks. They're not good. But if you use them for a very specific purpose, they can be quite usable in a competitive list. And then finally, our D tier stuff is, sorry guys, you're just not bringing that competitively unless you're memeing. Is really important to say this, guys, that just because your unit that you love isn't very high up in the list doesn't mean you shouldn't play with it. That we are talking about competitive right now. Casual gameplay, gloves are off, do whatever the heck you want. I do it. Other people who play casual do it. I don't know, Felix. I don't know if you ever play casual, but
I've done it once with a local Crusade League. So I did a meme orc list there.
Got it. But yeah, so
once.
we still love your models. It's just unfortunately some of them just aren't really making it competitively. But we're gonna get started with the characters, and we'll just go through these fairly rapido, I suppose. All right, we have the Squig Boss. Where are we putting him on?
Last time we rated him A tier. I'm happy having him A tier still.
I would actually be even comfortable putting him at top of B, to be honest with you, because I haven't found the slot for him. Not saying he's not usable. He is still a good model, but I think Moz basically just always beats him out for me.
Oh, no, I'm using both currently.
Oh, very cool. Well, I'm happy slotting him in A for right now.
Yeah.
Why don't you just give us 2 seconds? Go ahead and tell us how you're using the two together, actually.
So, pretty much, I've noticed when I did some list things that some of my I don't run hogs because WTC terrain, hogs don't move well, and I don't. My usual units are quite squishy, and if I can send Mothfrog on one flank and Beast Boss on another flank while also giving rerolls. So Beast Boss is also tanky. He's hard to kill. Gives rerolls to I have a lot of snag units, so the rerolls to charge are great. You give him the kill shop and he can kill a lot of vehicles. So he's just something that can take some damage and deal some, but mostly just something that can absorb damage on one flank as well.
Okay. All right, that's cool. So you're running them both. I like it. Creative. Yeah. All right, then we have Mr. Snickrot. Now, what did we have Snickrot rated in the last edition?
Last time, F tier, and I don't think he will stay there.
I agree with you. I am actually, interestingly enough, I am using him in my list, and I love him, but I am also downgrading him to the A tier.
Yeah. I have used him in my list a few times. He's great. He has a purpose, a little expensive, but it's a good purpose that can do both scoring and denying. I would say probably a low A tier.
Yeah, I'm completely comfortable with that. He gives us a really good option. He gives the ability for real alpha strike if you actually want it, although I think that's one of the worst ways to use him.
Yeah.
But he really gives a huge threat. He lets you tie units up more effectively by always giving the benefit of, what is it? Is it cover to the commandos?
Always cover, cannot be overwatched. So the big thing is you keep him and 10 commandos in a safe corner where they can't be shot. And you just threaten, I might teleport, and it will be instant. I can't fail the teleport. I can give them +2 charge, so it's a teleport 7-inch. And when I do that, you cannot overwatch them. You need to respect this. And while I don't do it, I can just score some points from engage on fronts, investigate sites, and different tacticals.
Super valuable character, but yeah, he is being downgraded from S just because honestly he is a little too expensive. Yeah, then where you have, this is going to be actually the Smash and Knob right here. Where was Smash and Knob originally?
B tier.
He was originally B tier. For me personally, I run him. If I run Squig Hogs, I run him. So I always put the two together. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much. You don't roll him solo. You need him with, I think, 3 Hogs is the best, and give him a kill shoppa, and he does a lot of mortals. It's hard to kill. I'm leaning towards A tier. He's making it into a lot of competitive lists as well.
I thought so as well.
Yep.
And guys, real quick, let me just say this. When Felix and I are talking today, we're actually talking from a WTC and GW standpoint mindset, okay? A lot of that's basically all of our experience. So some of these units can change ever so slightly, whether you're mainly UKTC or player placed, right? But if you're thinking from WTC layouts or GW layouts, then that's what our brain is really mainly focused on for this list. Shouldn't change too much across the other layouts, but it would change a little bit.
Yeah. The one unit that might change. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to him. All right, then we have the captain himself. I hear that this guy is very expensive on eBay now.
He is, and I have a friend who has printed him and shipped it for me right now.
Promoting the illegal activities on my stream. Stop it.
No, printed. It's illegal. I didn't say how we got the files. That's a different story. Right, but last time we gave him an A tier. He's super good still. I found a lot of use for him. I need him in pretty much all lists. You can build a list without him though, which makes me want to say he stays in A tier.
Yeah, I kind of like that just as well, just because the simple fact of the matter, when you run him with the flash gits, and guys, we might as well be talking about the flash gits as well, because if you're taking flash gits, you're taking bad ruck. If you're taking flash gits without bad ruck, you're memeing. So we might as well just be talking about the two together. It is a extremely powerful force multiplier that gives orcs something that they just don't have anywhere else. So I can't tell you how often I've been very frustrated. Actually, interestingly enough, just from his -1 toughness aura, which you don't think comes up, but it comes up all the freaking time.
Yeah, against the infantry, yeah.
Yeah, totally. And Dexton has a little comment for us. He says he thinks Squig Riders are better than Snickrot. Yeah, dude, I actually totally agree. For right now, if I were you, I would ignore the order that they are in their tiers. We can go sort those out later, but for right now, we're just going to kind of place them in the tiers. Yeah. Then we have Mr. Beast Boss himself, Felix. Where did you say Beast Boss goes?
Well, he's where he belongs, where he was last time, S tier.
100%. Absolutely. This guy smashes.
Is the best character we have, like the best one. I'm running 2 of them. He's cheap, 80 points. What does that give you? Well, suddenly all your snaggas, the 10 snaggas, have +1 to hit. And when you fight against the vehicle, you charge, this guy gets devastating wounds and he has anti-4+. And with the snaggas, that's a hit reroll. He can one-shot a small knight if he rolls hot. He's gonna average about 8 more wounds. And he's great against every target because he has 2 weapons. He has a claw with, what is it, strength 10, -2, damage 2, 4 attacks. And a sweep with the sword, 6 attacks, strength 6, -1, damage 2. So it's great again. He has options against Terminators, he has options against the Marine equivalents, option against Knights. Even when he doesn't charge, he has a strength 10 weapon. He's just great.
Nukanad Thor in the chat just says, if you run Flash Gitz without Captain Badrock, you are ... probably just poor.
No. Then he said me.
Yeah, he said, yeah, that's me. That's funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess he is probably a little hard to find right now. But yeah, so basically Beast Boss is awesome. I completely approve. I think I'm actually only running 1, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't run 2, right? You can honestly run 3 and have a very good argument for it. He's just freaking great. All right, Mr. Mozrog Scragbad.
Oh, Scragbad. He was A tier last time. I want to put him into S tier.
Dude, I agree with you wholeheartedly on this. This man just makes every list I make, no matter what. He gives us a semi-unstoppable bulwark that can just really mess it. He can hold an entire flank by himself against many armies, and that is such a rare thing in this game right now. And he just freaking slaps as well. So yeah, he's awesome.
You can take the example from our game. You and I played a couple of days ago. You had to invest about 1,100 points to kill him.
Yeah, I think it was actually like 1,050. Yeah, it was actually kind of insane.
And same, I played Chaos Knights today. They had to have about 8 war dogs shooting him, and got a bit lucky with some field pains, and he died. He's just tanky.
He's just a freaking beast.
And he slaps.
Yeah, he slaps so hard. This next guy up, this is the War Boss. I'm actually not even going to bother talking about him because we'll just do the War Boss with the Attack Squid because they're essentially the same. So War Boss with Attack Squid. Now, my natural instinct is I want to drop him in S as well, but I think I put him in A.
So he was A tier last time.
Yep.
He's so good though.
He is.
I want to up him to S tier because he basically commits during Waaagh, but the things he buffs, what is he?
So
70 points.
He's just so good. And don't worry, guys, there will be plenty of C, D, and B. It's just the characters are good. That's what we have.
Oh yeah.
He gets 9 attacks in the Waaagh.
Yeah.
And that is just so
on strength 11.
And he gives an innate -1 to wound your knobs. And hear me out here, guys. If you run 2 War Bosses with 2 units of knobs, suddenly now you're going to have 2 units that are always -1 to wound, so you never have to waste CP or your Strat for Artist Nails on those units, and you can use it on a different unit, say your Squighogs or Mozrog. So suddenly your enemy has to deal with 3 units that are -1 to wound, and that is a big freaking deal. So I love the War Boss.
Yeah, you can run the one with a 10-man as well. They have a bit different uses. The 10-man is more of a delete button when you run to some tough blobs. Custodians, it's good against, for example.
Yeah, I think if you're going 10-man, I like Cunning but Brutal. If you're going with 5-man, I like Follow Me Lads on him.
I like Follow Me both times. I just need to guarantee that when I Waaagh, he needs to hit combat.
I understand the argument. Okay, let's talk about Mr. Gazkul Traka himself. Mr. Gazkul. I love Mr. Gazkul. I want him to be good. And he is kind of good, but he's also kind of a liability.
So he was B tier in our last list.
Yep.
Is this where he's still at?
Yeah, he's not bad. He's just not bad. He's just and honestly, I think as the meta develops, we're gonna see him get used. We just haven't really seen it yet. Yeah. I'm comfortable keeping him B for now.
Yeah, I would agree.
Especially if we
see Magnobs.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm comfortable with him in B. I'm comfortable with him in B.
Yep.
But I agree. If we could run him with boys, he'd be like an S tier immediately.
Yeah, 100%. Or even just knobs would be pretty good.
Yeah, knobs would be sick, actually. Okay, then we have Mr. Zodgrod, the hero of last edition, and honestly, this edition, I honestly put him in a C, to be real with you.
Put him in B tier last time, but I agree, C tier. I just can't find the points for him or the investment for him.
No.
Oh, we have a comment here. Gas is A tier, not B tier. He provides something that no other dude in our codex provides. A red button to push when you. That's incorrect, actually. The knobs with the war boss does that way better than he does.
Yeah, Daniel. Actually, I really appreciate your comment, buddy. But in all reality, a war boss with a unit of knobs is going to be cheaper, and it's going to hit just as hard, if not a little bit harder. And it's going to be easier to maneuver them around. Now that Gaz finally can't sit in a truck. And your Squig Hogs too, by the way. Dude, a full unit of Squig Hog boys. Holy crap, those dudes hit unbelievably hard.
Yeah.
The thing that yeah, I'm sorry, you go ahead. You go.
He just so here we go him then. Yeah, sure. Then you have to spend 1 CP to get him up the board. So we move 7. Well, it will be 8 at least, but 7 plus D6. So he can just move pretty slow as well. And when he hits, sure, he hits hard, but we don't need more stuff to kill the big things. We have beast bosses, we have knobs, we have Mazrog, we have these options already, and he doesn't do it better.
So I understand your argument and your conversation, Daniel, but I think we just have to respectfully disagree with you, sir. The Squig Hogs absolutely handled toughest 13 models just fine.
I don't think I've seen Gaskell in a single WTC list.
I haven't seen him in any WTC. I haven't really seen him in any winning singles list either, have you?
I think there was one in the beginning, and maybe just first week or whatever. But it's just people probably running him in trucks by then.
And it doesn't mean he's bad, by the way. Like I said, he's solidly B. I think he's very usable. Maybe the meta just needs to develop a little bit more before we really see him. It's kind of like last edition. He was all the rage at the end of the edition, but in the middle of 9th, no one ever even looked at him.
Daniel, against toughness 13? No, it doesn't matter. We have beast bosses. We have stuff with anti 4+, with mortar wounds. Like, it doesn't matter. That's you're comparing a 235 point unit with at least 65 points more for the mega knobs. And you're comparing that to a beast boss of 80 points.
Yeah, it's just is what it is. All right, now we're looking at the Pain boss here. I have not taken this guy, and it's not because he's terrible. I just honestly haven't found the place for him. What about you, Coop?
He's a weird one. Last time we ranked him, let's see, where is he? We ranked him A tier. He's not going to be an A tier.
No, definitely not.
So what I've found is, in theory, he's amazing. Because you want to heal Mazrog or a Squig boss with him, and that's great value. Here's the issue. He's taking the leader slot from a beast boss. That's issue 1. Issue 2, armies either can kill Mazrog or they can't. And that heal won't really matter if they can or can't. It doesn't really put any army into, now I can't kill. It doesn't transform any army from I can kill him to I can't kill him.
Yep. I agree with you. I think... Man, I'm gonna keep him in B for now. I think.
Oh no, put him in B. We put him A tier last time.
Yeah, I think he just drops a tier. Definitely, there's still a good thought on him. He's not useless. He still has great tech with the resurrecting of knobs. Or I'm sorry, not knobs. Sorry, Beast Snag is the Pain Boy does the knobs. And we'll basically say the exact same thing about him later. As a matter of fact, let's just do him right now. They're both together. They both have nice tech. They're both interesting. Maybe in a different detachment when the codex is released. That it is what it is.
The thing is, we're not taking knobs to have them being tanky. We take them to kill stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a nice thought, and some have said like, "Oh, take him with 20 boys." A feel no pain on 1 wound models is not that amazing always.
It just doesn't feel the greatest. Okay, let's do the Weirdboy. Now, where do we have this guy in the last list? Because this might be one we may have been a little wrong on.
We were very wrong on this one. We put him in C tier, and we were wrong because we.
Right now, I think we're going to roll a dice, and if we roll a 2 up, he's going straight up to the S, baby.
Yeah, So the idea with the Weirdboy is he runs solo. You can run 10 boys and then squad up if you need to each game.
Yep.
I did that for some time, but then I was like, no, I want Snag instead. That's better. But the Weirdboy, you make him your warlord because when you play against the pure knights, they get bonuses when they kill your warlord. So okay, cool. He's gonna hide. It's a Weirdboy. We don't care.
You
And
send him in a
otherwise,
truck for 4
yeah,
rounds, and then in round number 5, you teleport him to capture the enemy outpost.
yeah. No, the teleport is amazing, and often when you teleport him, you can put him in spots where he can't be killed, so we can teleport again. So we got, let's see, deploy, teleport Homer, investigate sites, steal objectives, then the relic where you can teleport and make an objective, or just engage on all fronts behind enemy lines. He's just so versatile, like it's nuts.
So we got Beelzebub right here. He says, "Oi, still a bit of respect for the prophet, please." Now here's the deal about Mr. Gaskell. If you watched my video where I was deciding who the true biggest and the bestest is, what you would realize that Mazrog Scragbad is currently the biggest and the best, and Gaskell needs another cyborg body because Homeboy is getting overshadowed right now.
Yeah.
I love him.
There's this old meme about when they released Mosrog, like friendship ended with gas. Mosrog is now my new best friend.
Daniel, so Daniel says he likes to use the drag stuff for mission play. And he's talking about how that's theory. And theoretically, I think you have a decent thought process. If you watch our first tier list, we went really deep into why the drag is not the greatest option, and I don't think we've really changed our mind on that. Maybe we can touch on that briefly when we get there, but we'll get to it.
Also, just the quick difference to answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've seen the drag style, that's a big base it's standing on, which is not hard to screen out. But the Weirdboy is a 40mm base. That's very hard to screen out.
Yeah. We've got the boss in Mega Armor, and last edition, he was in the D tier, and this edition, he is in the D tier.
Yeah.
He's terrible, guys. He still sucks. I wish he did because I love his model. Oh my gosh, I love his model.
The Waaagh ability is so weird because the 4-up Feel and Pain, like, no, we have stuff, he's leading stuff. And some people might say, oh, but if you run a soul. Yeah, but he's 4 attack space. Just 4. Right, yeah, I have just seen a Weirdboy mission play, but it's really dangerous. It's really not.
He's only 50 points for 55 points, right? He's not a point investment, so it's like...
So just to kind of get the argument to that, I've been playing him for a lot now. I average 83.8 VP, and my secondary with tactical is 34.4 out of 40. Oof. I have no issue scoring. I run him in a competitive game. You can see pretty much all the competitive lists. They have a Weirdboy, most of them.
He's great.
He's great, and you don't care if he might not even die. It's D6 mortals, and he has 4 wounds, so it's only a 50-50 he dies if he fails.
Let's look at Zodgrod. Now, rumors of Zodgrod's demise have been greatly overreported. Recently, our poor Gretchen just got a little bit of a nerf. Does that mean Zodgrod is any less usable than he was before?
Less, yes, but he's still very usable. He lost like 1 aspect of him.
He lost,
but he has like 5
nothing.
more.
Because there's still -1 to wound. Like, he lost almost nothing. Let's be honest. Zodgrod and the Super Zodgrots is still incredible. I think they're still in S tier. What do you think?
We placed Zodgrod in A tier last time.
Did we really? Honestly, I'm throwing him up. I want to throw him up to S now. What are your thoughts on it?
I think A tier, and it's kind of what... The more I played with him now, I realized that in some matchups, he really doesn't do that much. The move block is amazing, and it's great, but I found that in many games, I could have done it with Grots without him. Okay. And having 80 points, the pregame move doesn't matter too much, really. It's good, but it doesn't matter in terms of scoring all the time. You don't run the 22-man, really, and... You can, but I think I prefer the 11-man with him. I think he's great, but not S tier anymore because he lost that tie-up for every aspect. He's still great for move blocking. He can tie up, but he can't tie up forever anymore.
You know, I think I'm just gonna bow to your experience here, and I'm gonna go with you on that one. So let's put him in A. He's still very usable. You can still run the 20-man Gretchen Blob, but yeah, the 10 or the 11 is probably better. Right now, maybe you run them in the truck, get that scout move on the truck, and then disembark them. That is absolutely an option. So he's still definitely very usable. But yeah, I'm going to bow to your experience there.
Yeah, I've run him in, I think, almost every list I've run in 10th so far. because I really like this guy a lot,
Mhm.
and I just recently dropped him because I realized he doesn't really help me in some missions against some opponents. Not enough. He's great, and he's very great, just not for the way I wanted to play. Because if you want the more defensive one, it's a very expensive move block suddenly.
So let's move on over to Mad Dot Grotznick. Now, this is actually really interesting. For now, this guy is going to, I think, stay in the B tier. Is that correct?
We had him over on the B tier, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he stays there with his Pain Boy and Pain Boss compatriots. Now,
Yeah.
I believe this guy is actually going to be very interesting when the Codex drops because he's going to get to keep his Exploding Sixes on his Power Claw, and he gives you the 5-up Feel No Pain, and he gives the whole unit fallback and charge, which is a really big deal. I think he probably gets even more interesting once we get our Codex. For right now, actually, I have experimented games where I'm running double 10-man knob squads. I've also done actually triple knob squads, and it's really not that bad an option, putting Mad Dog with one of them and leaving the other two war bosses. I think he's usable. I don't think he's the best option that we have. So I think he is a better option than just having a normal Pain Boy, though.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think solidly in the B tier.
All right, we have Daniel again. Flash Gitz with Bedrock equals God tier.
Yes.
Well, not God. Like we're not putting them in S tier. They're great, but they need to be played a very, very certain way, or they don't really do anything. And some skill opponents can play against it. It's some matchups. It's kind of difficult.
If they were
They're
AP
great.
too,
Oh yeah, because it's super easy to get cover now. So they're mostly going to be saving armor save anyways. Like the melee is great as well. It's great. Being A tier isn't bad. S tier is just a level of you kind of need to take these units pretty much, or you're sacrificing stuff, and you better have a reason for it. There is definitely ways to play without flash kits, and I've done several times. And some lists don't run it at all. Like it's not a must-have. You can play without, and you can have a solid game plan that doesn't involve flash kits. So that's the difference kind of between A and S.
yeah, you don't have to defend yourself for not taking an A tier unit. All right, then we have a knob with Waaagh banner. Now, this is something I actually just haven't used, but I know that some people in the Discord, I think Snips has been using him a lot.
I've used it a little.
Yeah.
Matchup dependent, in my opinion.
Yep.
So it kind of makes the boys up to move block a lot. But there's so many blast weapons that I found it to be. It's great against probably like Genes to the Colts a lot. But some matchups could just remove them too far. Like if you play against Chaos Knights, for example, and every Chaos Knight, even if they have melee, they have like a indirect launcher that's strength 5, -1, damage 1, and blast, and indirect fire. Which means if they fire like 10 of these, yeah, the involve isn't gonna help you that much.
Yeah.
It's just blast. That's rough.
Yep. I think, man, I think he's just too situational. You can build around him, and then he can be useful. So I'm not saying he's an unusable unit. I just think for right now, you really need to defend your choice to actually bring him.
I think we'll keep him where we put him in the first place, B tier.
You thinking B? Because I was really thinking C there.
No, it has definitely play, and people have had great success. We have Tom H from England, for example.
I'm not willing to die on that hill, so I'll go along. Then we go run into the 3 mechs. We have the shock attack gun. Originally, we actually had him fairly high, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had him. That was a mistake, A tier, and we overestimated Bioshock, how impactful it would be. It's not that impactful. Not the ones you inflict during your turn to the opponent, because they just gets removed in their turn.
Exactly.
I want to put them in C tier.
I do too. And the reason why we're I think in C tier and not D is because maybe someone out there has done it, because he does have interesting tools behind him that maybe we just haven't spent the time to actually uncover, and there can be a real purpose for him.
it's still like a casino again, and you can probably score things. Some tacticals where you need to take objectives from people,
Maybe.
but it's risky. Like you need to first hit, which you can't just fail because 4 up.
Yeah.
And D6 plus 1 shot, I think. And then they have to fail a battle shock, and most people have at least 6 or 7 up for a battle shock. So it's very risky. I even bought 2 of them to prepare myself for 10th, and I think they're pretty.
Yeah, they're cool. Okay, so then we're going to the other flavors of mechs. The lonely mech, the single, just normal mech, he definitely still has his use, but his use only applies if you're running a very specific build, and that is a Gargantuan build. And at that point, I think we drop him in C.
He stays in C, where he was last time. I know someone probably say it, because some people have been running it. I think Seth the Mad Dog talked about it as well. Running a Squig Bug with the mech, it's not point efficient at all. You're not paying 45 points for +1 to hit. That's nuts. Like the one tech is probably where you have the buggy like behind, and then the mech 3 inches in front of it on an objective, so it's lone operative. But that's like the one thing.
Yeah,
it's so expensive for it.
Yeah, I couldn't ever justify it in any of my list.
Yeah. And just looking at it, doesn't score us points.
Nah.
And that's in the end, that's what we win with, guys. Points. Knobs, they kill, but they kill in melee, which means they gain ground and can take objectives and stuff.
Trucks with flash gets gain +1. Dude, flash gets inside the truck. I mean, they're still hitting on 5s, and the weapons are heavy, so they can still get +1 just by not moving in the truck, right?
Yeah.
So you already have ways of innately getting it. And honestly, the flash gets, your job is that you're as soon as you can, you generally want to disembark them in a fairly safe place so that you can start abusing their overwatch, right? So I just don't think I agree with that argument for the +1 for the trucks. But it is a reasonable argument. It is a reasonable argument, and that's why he's in C, not D. There is a use for him, right? And you can actually build around him, but you got to make an argument for that one. The other map. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing with flash gets some matchups you want to reserve them instead of having them in a truck. Best example is probably an army that can't screen you that well.
Yeah. Then we have the mech with custom force field.
Yeah. Wait, we do have a question. Do knobs with big choppers have any usage? Nope.
No. Maybe if you were running them without the war boss, but that's about it, I could imagine, right?
Yeah, we have better units for that still.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm just trying to think, right?
Yeah, so Daniel, we will be dropping the links. Actually, I can do it right now in the chat.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Because the math. Oh wait, there's a lot of links.
Yeah.
I got 4 of them here, and then I'll. There we go. Oh, and that's terribly formatted.
While you're doing that, let me just answer this question from Mr. Creevy. Do you guys think the mech and the battle wagon as a mini Gork is a play or no? I don't think so at all. I think the battle wagon is just criminally overcosted for what it does, and giving it +1 to hit just doesn't make it slap that hard. It certainly isn't worth 45 points. And giving +1 to shoot to let's say it's bunkered with a bunch of Ludas. Now your Ludas are hitting on 5s instead of 6s, and it's just sucks. Like it's just not good, and you wasted a bunch of points on you Ludas as well. So I think the mech does have some specific play, but the battle wagon tech is not it.
So just to remind everyone and inform those of you who are watching for the first time, I have done the math for the entire index, and the sheets are available. They're linked in the old tier list, and we will be linked in this one as well. But the math is done for the entire index with every option and pretty much every situational buff as well. We have the average damage against a lot of different targets. We have the points per point kill, so point efficiency. So we won't go into that this time. We've gone into it a little. You can export it on your own as well.
And we'll go ahead and link those in the description as well if you guys are watching this on the replay. Okay, definitely. Cool. So let's talk about the Boyz. So the Boyz, I think this is one that I would like to elevate from where we had them originally.
We had them in C tier.
Yeah, I would like to bring them up to B.
I agree.
Boys are actually more usable than I originally thought they were, and they actually have pretty dang good use. I even think I might be convinced that occasionally you might want to try the 20-man blob with the war boss and the weird boy. I don't think that's great tech, but I actually find it to be more usable than I originally thought it was.
Yeah.
Um, and I like the boys. I think for they're significantly cheaper than beast snags, and sometimes when you want to fit a enhancement in there that you just don't have points for, you can grade a unit of beast snags into boys very comfortably. So I'm actually kind of on the boy train now. So yeah, I want to bump them up to B.
I think Snips was the one who started doing that. He has a weird boy, and Bannering kind of attaches the one to where he needs it.
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of it because it means if you attach the weird boy, the Banner knob is in a weird spot. And then, of course, the 10-man can attach to a weird boy if you have a sold weird boy. And a rocket isn't bad. Like D3 blast, it can kill termies.
Yep. Okay. Then looks like oh, Christopher Taylor, he's late. He's gonna catch up. Bro, you're definitely gonna catch up. We know we got you, buddy. So now we're gonna run into the Beast Snagga boys. Beast Snaggas are still freaking awesome. They're still freaking amazing. What do you think?
They're still last here.
Yeah, they're just so good, man. They're so good.
I think most lists are running 2 units of 10.
Yeah,
I'm running 3 currently. They're great. Like base S5 is very big as well.
So powerful.
Yeah, and the hit reroll they can give to the Beast Snagga boss. Oh.
So good, man.
Yeah, and also the Power Snapper. That's base 4 attacks for some reason.
And you know when you get this unit and you're going into a monster vehicle and you spend 1 CP for Unbridled Carnage so that you get to fish for those 5s because you're getting full hit rerolls, and suddenly your beast boss, which has devastating wounds for anti-monster vehicle, it gets to fish for extra attacks. That combination is just so damn strong, and you can run through some of these scary nightmare situations. So beast snaggers are just fantastic.
So having just sending them without a boss into a war dog can work as well, because you have so many hits that you will roll 5+ to wound. I think 9 snaggers from me today did average roll and did 6 damage. That's without the knob.
Yeah, that's without the knob. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, and without the exploding 5s.
Ooh, that's not bad, man. Okay, then we have Gretchen. Gretchen are still awesome. I think at the beginning, people were trying to run 3 units or 1 big blob and 1 small blob. I think now we're moving into more 2 small blobs.
That's where I'm at currently. Yeah,
I like Gretchen. I think they're amazing. Orks need some chaff units. I don't really know if I want to put them in S tier anymore.
I don't. I want to put them in A tier.
That's where I was thinking as well.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of where we're at. If you're running Zodgrod, you're running 3 units of 11, and if you're not running Zodgrod, you're getting 2 units of 11 most of the time.
Most likely.
Yeah. That's kind of what happened to me, because when I ran, I tried 3 without Zodgrod, and I just found that there's too many. I don't need the 3rd one. Like, it didn't do enough.
We have Elite Slayer X. He's been using the 20-man blob of boys with a war boss and a pain boy, which has been working pretty well. He likes the feel no pain on the 22 models, and you know what, man, I can kind of understand that, and I don't think it's necessarily bad, which is kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to elevate the B tier. I wanted to elevate boys back up to B from C. I think there's a lot more use than what Felix and I initially thought when the index dropped. I don't think I would be running them with a pain boy, but Godspeed on that, and I definitely can understand why that's something that we want to experiment with. The next round,
looking at it like, why do I? Which matchups do I need it into? And some it's great, and some not so great. So that's kind of why it's a bit lower, I think.
Yep. All right. So now we have. I think these are our Burna boys. Well,
oh
our
boy, we
Burna boys. We were not correct, guys.
We said A tier.
Dude. I don't even think I can put them in B, man. I think they have to go to C.
I mean, yeah, actually, I agree with that, because I was about to say they're really great against a few matchups, and then, oh, right, that's kind of C tier.
Yeah, I mean, they're very specific. Like, I mean, I understand why you might want to include a unit of them, but in all reality, in 80% of your games, that one unit is going to do about nothing. Um, and I wouldn't bother including it in my list if it's only going to help me with 10 or 20% of my games. So
Yeah.
I think C's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do have a question here,
Oh, okay.
or something like. I'm surprised on A tier routes a 45-point CP generator
Mm,
seems pretty wanted.
hmm
Yeah. So it's kind of we're from personal experience we've tried, and I just found they were overflow. Like they didn't really add value with having that many of them. It's still a great unit. A tier is not bad, guys.
A tier's
It
great.
just yeah. A tier is super great.
Great.
Uh, I mean, honestly,
Nah.
no. We should no. That should be S tier. Because can you
Um,
build a list without Grots?
yeah, totally. You absolutely don't need Grots.
Oh, okay, yeah, you probably can. Yeah.
You just you don't need them. I still like them. I would still run one or two because they're great. I would also run Snickrat, right? Because I like Snickrat, but
Yeah,
you
fair
don't need
point.
it,
Yeah.
right? All right. So then we have Commandos, and I think Commandos go with Snickrat in
Yeah,
if
we were wrong about this one too. We said S tier. They're not S
yeah, they're
tier.
not S tier. If they were if you could still take them in five mans, I would agree they were S tier, but you can't
Yeah.
sadly. Um,
So I would take a 5-man all day, every day.
I'd take two five mans every single day, but
Yeah, it's
you
just
can't.
the and the 10-man they just don't hit like they used to.
They don't have the slap that they used to have.
Yeah, and so that kind of removes the with Snikrot, of course, they can do pretty well because Snikrot and teleport.
Mhm.
But alone, it's like okay, they won't kill too much. They're 135. They pay a lot for their utility value. Yeah,
And they do have good utility. Being able
yeah,
to not get overwatched is very strong, guys. So I like their utility, but yeah, they drop a little bit. They're still good. I take them in my list, but I can understand why people might not run them.
yeah.
We got
Like,
Mega Knobs. I don't have anything to say about Mega Knobs, to be honest with you.
uh, we put them in C tier. All right.
Okay, so I
So
don't have
here's the
anything to say.
weird part. The argument is for them being in. They're either in C or in B, and the argument for putting them in B. There's two arguments for putting in B. One, you gotta run them with gas, and we put gas in B.
Mhm.
And argument two, we could take a 2-man unit and have it score points or hold against indirect. I would say B actually, just because of that's the uses. Either with gas school, if you're taking him, if you're taking gas, you need to take 2 Mega Knobs at least. And you can take, and at least can take 2 Mega Knobs, have in a corner or have on the DC objective to withstand indirect fire.
I understand the argument. I'll cave on it. Then we have knobs. I freaking love knobs.
Yes, they're
And oh, you're going S. See, I would actually keep them straight in the A because you have other choices that can do their job. But I think they are amazing.
which unit could do their job?
So like your squig hogs can do what the knobs do.
Kind of, yeah.
Mhm. And
But
that's
then
what.
if we're looking at
Mhm.
WTC, it's the infantry keyword as well,
Oh, the
being such
infantry
an RD.
keywords. I love these guys so much. I'm not going to argue with you. We'll just drop them
Like,
up there. Let's talk about these knobs real quick. These guys are -1 to be wound because they will be led by a war boss. They're going to be hitting on threes with a +1 hit from the war boss. They're going to be exploding on fives when you spend 1 CP on Unbridled Carnage. These dudes are amazing and they will chew through just about anything. The only problem with them is that their strength is less than it used to be.
yeah. During Waaagh, you can pretty much kill war dogs and war glaives kind of easily. Then it gets a little harder, but it still hits hard. It's AP2. And again, we have the war boss in S tier. If you take the war boss, you're taking knobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. We got a question from Clorocky S. Where can I see the orc list used in tourneys? Well, sir, if you have a subscription to BCP, which Best Coast Pairings, which I do not have an affiliate link for, but I need to get one. So this was just a little free marketing for them. You can always see all the lists that are used through them. All of the WTC lists are currently posted and available throughout the interwebs. And if you are really a orc enthusiast, I very highly encourage you to join our orc Discord. It is not my Discord. It is not Cooper's Discord, but it is our Waaagh Discord, where everyone gathers and shares all the Waaagh knowledge. And we would love to have you join us. And maybe we could get someone to drop a link to the Orc Discord. And if not, I'll do it in just a little bit.
I'll get onto it quickly.
Nice. While we're moving on, we have Flash Gitz. We already spoke about those with Badrock, so we'll just drop them right there next to him. Right now we have Tank Busters. Now the joke is Tank Busters go to S tier, but the reality is Tank Busters do not go to S tier because they're awful.
We were correct about these ones. They belong in D tier.
They are so bad, just so bad. I really desperately want them to be good, and they're just not.
If they drop to like 80 points, I would take them.
If they dropped 80 points, you would take them?
No, 2 80 points.
Oh, 280. I thought you were like, oh, if they dropped 80
Which
points,
is actually,
yes, dude, I would take them as well.
If still a 65-point drop, to be fair.
Oh, man.
But they can do damage, but they're also models on like 5 1-wound models. I already dropped it.
Oh, did you? I didn't see your...
Oh, it doesn't show, maybe? Weird.
Yeah, it doesn't show on my chat, at least. Oh, well. Anyway, now you guys got it. Now you guys got it. Okay, let's go back into it. All right, so we just dropped our Flash Kits and we dropped our Tank Busters. Let's talk about Ludas. Has anything changed on Ludas?
Nope, we were correct as well.
They're awful. Sorry, guys. I desperately want them to be good. I bought 22 of them right before the edition dropped, and they are collecting dust.
We named B tier to Ludas.
Yeah, Ludas. Absolutely. Absolutely we can. Lutas. Maybe I should call it Losas, but yeah, they're Losas, not Lutas. Losas.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, they're just suck, man. I hate that. Anyway, we've got a Def Killer Wartrike. He is officially a character now.
So we have a hilarious comment.
Oh, what do we got?
My Tank Busters do a great job of being my Rocket Boys and my Blobs.
Dude, that's funny. Actually, and that's a real thing that he just said. Maybe we should have touched on that earlier. But
models, yeah.
Yeah, I think you should run the Rocket Launcher Boy if you're taking a unit of boys, because that rocket launcher, well, can spike for you sometimes, and I think that's valuable.
Yeah. Daniel, so Tank Busters sucks because they're forced loadout. No, they suck. Yeah, because of the cost as well.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Okay. So then we got the Def Killer Wartrike. This guy is officially a character now. And he can only go with Warbikas. His base is obnoxiously large.
It is. I have seen and done some test running with him.
Yep.
We did put him in C tier before, and with having the character keyword, he's basically a budget squig boss.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's in B tier.
Really? Sell me on this. Sell me on this.
Definitely. We're talking what is he? Like 80 or 90 points base, and then you give him 15 points for Film Pain. We're talking a 9-wound mounted, not monster, not vehicle, mounted. So if it's engagement range, he can't be shot at, like the big ones. But still, 9 wounds, toughness 6 with 4-up Feel Pain and a 5-up Invul. He's like almost half the points of Squig Boss, so he's just a cheap one you can throw in. He's fast as well, which gives them the auto advance 18.
Okay.
So definitely B tier.
Okay.
But not higher.
Fair enough. And so then I suppose now's a great time just to talk about these Warbikers who are going to be attached to him, right?
Oh, yeah. Same spot.
Yep. You want to say anything about the Warbikers? Because I wouldn't run them just from my personal playstyle. I would never run Warbikers. So if you have anything to say, why don't you talk to the people about the Warbikers?
I have run them in a few games, and they have either it can join the Def Killer Wartrike, or they can be run solo in MSU, so minimum size unit. And the thing is, they're fast. I think I played them against you as well, and they ran past your lines and messed some stuff out. But they have assault, so they can advance and do actions as well.
I don't think they ever did anything in our game.
They took an objective from you, behind you, and forced you to move backwards to deal with them.
That's true. They did. Yep, that's true. Yep.
But they're fast, mounted, so don't give up. But the assault and do actions, it's always good, and they're cheap. It's 10 wounds in total, 3, 3, and 4.
That's cool.
Toughness 6. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. All that seems totally reasonable. All right, now we get into the Buggies. I know everybody. I know you all love your Buggies. I know you love it, and we know it's coming. We're probably not going to respond to every comment about the Buggies, but we love you. I promise. We'll respond to some of them. All of the Buggies suck.
Yeah. Oh, I think we skipped the Squighogs.
I think, I just put them up there with a Smash the Squig.
Yeah,
we already talked about them. Squighogs are animals. They're freaking monsters. I love them. I run them in my list all the time for sure.
I don't, but that's WTC, and I found it hard to move them. But that's the only reason. If I played on GW or UKTC or PPT, I would take them every time.
So we have the Buggies here. I'm fairly comfortable with what we said last time. I believe there's a point in the custom booster blast stuff if we're giving a -1 to hit to someone. I think that's useful.
I think we're keeping as last time. So the Squig Buggy and custom booster blast in C tier, and the other 3 Buggies in D tier.
Yeah, that's basically exactly what I was thinking. Which sucks because the Megatrack Scrapjet is my favorite thing to say in the world, and I love it, but it's not good. It just sucks in this edition.
Yeah.
The Shock Jump Dragsta, just real quickly to head you guys off. No, if he advances, he doesn't count as remaining stationary, even though he teleports, because he already advanced, and his weapons aren't assault. And even if that weird rules interactions did work, which it doesn't, even if it did, he still shoots really badly. For his points
and the base huge, so he can be screened out super easily. It comes down to, okay, do I pay 80 points for this or 55 for Weirdboy?
Right. And it's just like you're gonna do it for the Weirdboy instead.
Yeah.
So that's just the thing about the drag style, which sucks because I want to like it as well, but I can't. All right. Then we have the Death Killer or the freaking Death Choppas. Death Choppas. I love Death Choppas, and I am desperately trying to figure out how to make them work, and I think I did a little bit, just enough to keep them in C tier.
Let's see, we put them in C tier. Yeah, I think they're still in C tier. They have some use. You can Deep Strike is always usable. I think that was my argument last time as well. You can always Deep Strike them. Pop up.
And Blast, just by its nature, has gotten better.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to see them if they were hitting on 4s. Give them to me, but they're not, unfortunately.
Right. Let's see. We have a question here as well. Then, hello from 2D6. If you have time for a question. Which data sheet turned out to be a sleeper or surprised you after playing 10th edition bit, if any? Oh, the Weirdboy.
The Weirdboy. First off, real quick, Sailor Pete, welcome. Guys, 2D6 is my club here in Oslo. It's the club I belong to, and I dedicate a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So, Sailor Pete, welcome, my man. Super happy to have you here. And it is actually the greatest gaming club in the world as of right now. And yeah, so 100%, the Weirdboy. For sure, man. Dark horse.
I think we just looked at the leader and then wrote it off and didn't think of we didn't know how badly we needed it for tactical and how much, or not badly, but how much it helped.
He's just so useful.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I think we've run him and then just capture enemy outpost turn 4. Okay, I guess I'll do that. Yeah. All right, that's an 8-point swing. It's just such a big deal. All right, moving on. We've got the Storm Boys, and this is one that Mr. Felix and I were talking about earlier today, and I was disagreeing with him, and then when Felix asked me why I disagreed, I just didn't have a good answer, which means I'm just going to bow down to his expertise, and we're going to say yes. So they're going in the S tier.
They're cheap, 65 points, put 5 in Deep Strike, and you got most of the tacticals done and dusted. And even then, if you could take them down. I think I did it against you. Put them down in spots where they're hard to reach. Maybe do an action, but then they're fast. 12-inch movement, they can mess stuff up, and some enemies can't catch up to them. So they can be late-game things as well.
Yep, that's fair. And then let's just ask real quick. Oh, Creevy had the question. Could you explain what Death Coptas do that Storm Boys don't? All right, so here's the deal. Storm Boys are better than Death Coptas. It's just straight up. I think we just kind of clarified that. But Death Coptas also have just straight up better firepower, and they're a little bit tough to kill sometimes. And that's what they do different. And that's why they're in C tier, and Storm Boys are S tier. Yeah. So we got Duo Cut is joining the Discord. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have one more argument against the Death Coptas for having them in C tier. So most of our vehicles and monsters are hard to kill. Like trucks are hard to kill. Mazrog, Squigwas, they're hard to kill. Death Coptas are not. If they draw, bring it down during tactical, that's 6 VP for almost free.
No, tactical maximum you can get is 5 points. Oh crap, that's right, because bring it down is one of the ones that you can stack to like 8 or something,
8.
Right? Yeah, that's
8,
true. Yeah, that's actually a good point. That sucks.
Yeah. Hey, you got some money.
Whoa, Mr. Tomcat, you beautiful, beautiful man. Thanks so much for the super chat. Love it, brother. You get a heart with a little creepy frog. That's so sweet of you guys. Yeah, we absolutely will, and I will use that money to buy Mr. Felix a beer when we see each other, and because we're gonna try to get together for a live game here in
Oh,
maybe
definitely.
a while. You are a freaking legend, and we absolutely will keep it up. But anyway, all right, so we're gonna move on now. We don't need to do both these wagons because only one of them is real anyway. So let's just do the battle wagon.
Yeah. C tier.
This is the definition of a C tier unit, guys.
Yeah, we put it in B tier first, and I think it's C tier. It has a use, and I think I've touched upon it in the games I played against you on stream. It can survive most. You have a armor contempt, so it negates 1 AP, and you can give it cover super easily because 10th vision, so it's hard to kill, and stuff you can send up turn 1, and not a single army can guarantee 100% they will kill it. And some armies have a hard time dealing with it. You can shove it into a big blob of Lich Guard and keep them busy forever. However, it's very expensive. Some armies can crump it easily, and it's a very niche tool. It can work, but you need to build like around it.
Yeah, if it was only around 150 points, absolutely Tomcat, right?
Oh yeah.
He's just too expensive.
Yeah, 185. Ooh.
So we have let's read this comment real quick. From Lucho Carlitos. Hello, Lucho Carlitos. Meganovs with a big mech in mega armor and force field are very tanky. A 2-up save is a lot, and a feel no pain. Plus, you get 1 back every turn. I run 6 of them to fight in the middle. Okay, here's the deal. You're not wrong. They are actually quite tanky, but do they get a feel no pain? They don't get a feel no pain.
No, they don't.
No, yeah, you're mistaken on that, sir. Sorry, they don't get a feel no pain. But the spirit of what you're saying is true. Yes, they are very tanky. But the second someone drops mortal wounds against infantry, and there's a lot of anti-infantry / dev wounds in the game, they melt. And they're expensive, and they're slow, and they don't have enough attacks, and they are usable, guys, but they're not great. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to correct the feel no pain, it's a 4-up involve.
4-up involve. Yeah. Okay, then we got Waaagh is like Screaming Slayer, but for orcs. If you're a Slayer fan, you'll understand. That's funny, and I do understand. All right, so let's look at the Def Dread. This guy we had in B tier in our last tier list. Now
we were wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong. This dude, man, I even struggle to think if he makes it to C right now. He's just
I was about to say D tier.
I think I'm gonna put him at the bottom of. Nah, yeah, I'll just never take him at this cost. Just to be honest,
I can guarantee you. I have one argument, and I will make you put it in D tier.
Yeah, I'm putting him there anyway. But yeah, give me your argument.
He's more expensive than a war dog.
It's more expensive than a war dog. That is so ludicrous. Oh my gosh, that's true. Yeah, dude, he's just. Oh
so
man,
dumb.
That's so bad. Ugh.
And he's slower than a war dog. He's 1 less toughness, less wound. He's just worse in every way.
We were just high and hoping that he was good, and he's just.
To be fair, this was again because we, like a lot of people, thought that Battle Shock would be a big thing. Spoiler alert: it's not.
Yeah, he does look cool though. And Daniel, yeah. he's even more expensive than a Mutalith Vortex Beast. All right, we're just gonna take this brief moment to shit on orcs.
So, at which point cost would you take him?
Where would I take him? I'd be considering him fairly reasonably. I think at a 115. I think you put him at that 105. I'm 100% taking him.
I would about say like 105, 110.
Yep, that 115 is where I'm like, ooh, I might take this guy. You put him to that 105, absolutely, I'm taking him.
Yeah.
Okay, then we got the Hunter rig and the Killer rig.
No, we gotta correct something here.
What are we correcting?
Put the feel no pain on the big mech with super. Yeah, but that's on the big mech. He would get the feel no pain, not the unit.
That's okay. Yeah. So if you read the enhancement strategies or the enhancements, what that does is it puts the feel no pain on the model, not on the unit. So
yeah,
it's a very easy thing to make a mistake of. Don't worry about it. But that's where you where you got confused.
Here's the thing. The Mega Mech, if the Phenol Pain only comes up if the Mega Nobs are dead, let's ignore position. It's a 2-up save. He's gonna live through that. But if the Mega Nobs are dead, then the Mega Mech is useless. So Phenol Pain not needed.
Yeah, basically that's an enhancement that we would have killed for last edition, and we will never use this edition.
I have used it a couple of times.
Okay.
There is 2 units. The Death Killer Wartrike, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
But also, if I have 50 points left, I'm so mad I have 10 points left in my current list. On the Beast Boss.
Just the Beast Boss on foot?
Yeah. It actually makes him really hard to deal with, and even if he's the only one alive, he can do a lot of damage, like 4 to 6 wounds on a War Dog, no issues.
Fair enough.
But that's if you have the points left over.
Fair enough. Okay.
Oh yeah, you got that. That's what he meant. Okay, yeah. So you tried to correct that guy. Yeah.
Cool.
We gotcha.
Yeah, appreciate you bringing it up. Yeah, and when we're making these corrections, please don't take this as attack at all, because sometimes we might over-explain something just because other people will have the same question as you, even if you actually do already have it. But yeah, thanks for clarifying all that. Okay, so let's move on just a little bit. We have a hunter rig and a kill rig. Man, they're just both bad, but I would take the hunter rig over the kill rig right now, which really pains me because the kill rig is my favorite model in the game.
Same. I have 3 of them. So I think same as last tier list. Kill rig D tier, hunter rig C tier.
Yeah, totally down for that.
Phenol Pain on Weirdboy. Oh, that's actually a good argument, Ryan. I haven't thought about that. Phenol Pain on the Weirdboy. Against, if he rolls that 1, he can survive and teleport next round. That's actually a really good argument.
It's not a bad idea. I know it works a little bit better in some of the other armies, because I know right now a lot of people are taking the Phenol Pain on the Hexmark Destroyer, otherwise known as the Galactopus and Necrons. And that works really well, but you got to remember that guy also has that 3-up armor save on top of it. But yeah, I can understand why, if you have points left over, well, a 4-up Phenol Pain on a Weirdboy makes sense. That's a good idea.
Like, it doesn't matter for the shooting of him, it's just for if he rolls a 1, he can survive the mortals easier.
Yeah, I can see it.
That's a good argument. It's also 15 points on a model that's 55, so you probably might just invest in a second Weirdboy if you're that concerned.
But if you only have 15 points left over, because sometimes
100%.
Yeah, I can actually see that, because that could easily save you a 10 victory points, whatever, 10 victory points at the end of the game. So yeah,
I'll see if I can save 5 points and maybe get it in my list. I'll have to tweak around. Maybe might not be worth it.
Blankers, he ran the Phenol Pain Weirdboy at a GT on the weekend. It was easy MVP. That's awesome. Super happy to hear that. Yeah. Okay, so let's get going here a little bit. We have Killicons. Yeah.
We put them in top of C tier last time. It's a tough one. Because it's still 150 points. So it's the same as
like, I'm just never gonna take it. Like,
I'm trying to see like what kind of list they would work in. Because even if you were like to spam them like 3 times 3, and that's 450 points, that's still a lot.
You give me a mech and let the mech boost the entire unit. So say we get a codex, and the codex ability allows mech's buff to apply to the unit. Okay, Killicons are in, but without that, I just don't see when I'm taking them.
No, I think do you think C or D? I think C tier, because they're probably better than the Death Dread.
They're definitely better than the Death Dread. I mean, I can 100% give them C tier, but it's like, because these were my golden boys from last edition. I was running them at the very end of the edition after a lot of people dropped them, because I freaking loved these things. But yeah,
I love them as well. But
c'est la vie, baby.
C tier, yeah.
Okay, we got the mech guns. Mech guns are staying in C tier as well. They are there just by nature, from the fact that sometimes it's nice to have a cheap individual gun that you can strat reserve.
Something, still a cheap thing you can reserve and come down in a corner and do a tactical. Shooting isn't bad, but it's a casino gun.
Yep.
It's cheap, but it's also a bring it down if they get that tactical drawn. Like if they, I don't mind having a lot of vehicles, but I don't want them to draw, bring it down, and then have a squishy vehicle to kill.
Right. Mark Azeth has a comment. He says someone did well with 9 cons at a tourney recently. If you wouldn't mind, just kind of post a link to that list in the chat. I'll take a look at it afterwards, or maybe depending on if we have extra time, we can do it today.
It depends on what kind of tournament as well. If it's
Yeah,
a
that's
small
true.
RP, anything can happen.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, mech guns in that C tier. Let me just make sure everything looks okay. All right, cool. Then we have the planes. All the planes suck.
Yep.
All the planes are terrible. Is there
Yeah, we
any
had
plane
him.
that's worth talking about?
No.
No? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I think we talked about them in the last video a bit. They're just all in D tier. It's flyers just got messed up, and the rules for these ones on top of that, nah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Now here is a really fascinating pick that I think someone is going to use to very good effect at some point during during this edition. The Gargantuan Squiggoth.
Yeah. Also, just one thing. Someone mentioned the killer cans in the workshop. So we're basing this on WTC, where the fortifications are like, it's not allowed to have fortification in your army.
But we can do an honorable mention for how the workshop works just at the end, just in case. Yeah, yeah. Because if you're playing where you can use it, it's 100% S tier. But a lot of times you just can't use it. So we'll do an honorable mention. Thank you for bringing that up. So let's do the Gargantuan Squiggoth here.
Ooh, that's a tough one. You can -1 to wound it. A lot of armies can still kill it.
But I mean, 30 wounds is still 30 wounds with a toughest 12 -1 to wound rate.
True, but I don't struggle to kill a 24 wound knight with TV at 7 that works.
Yeah, that's fair. But if this thing does get a charge, say you rapid ingress it, that thing will mess up whatever it hits.
Yeah, but it's just looking at terrain, especially for WTC, it's so hard to move. Is what? Okay, so if it was PPT, I would put it A tier. Because it's WTC, we're basing this on, and it's honestly not that easy on GW either. But I would put it C tier.
You know what? I'm very comfortable with this. So let's do this with a caveat. So everyone who's paying attention right now, if we're doing WTC terrain, which is what both Felix and I play the majority of, it's going to be C tier because it actually is usable, but it's hard to use. If you're doing it on something else, say you have a player place terrain where you could just hide it behind a great central ruin for a turn, then we're talking, right? It's also a great target for a rapid ingress. This thing could really mess things up. I still think it's a little bit too expensive. I'd like to see it closer to 300 point level instead of that 400 monstrosity that it is.
And you have things like LR mortar wounds, and you have Oath of Moment. Like, it seems tanky on paper, but in games it might not be if you're playing against some competitive players.
Oh, we got some people who are excited for the Gargantuan Squiggoth. Guys, I'm excited for this thing too. I am actually trying to figure out, do I need to get one? Because I can easily see things flipping to the point where he is actually awesome, which is really cool because this was not the case last edition at all. So do not mistake me when I'm putting him in C tier. This is in the context of WTC style terrain. In other terrain formats, he can be a freaking animal.
Now, it seems we do have to explain, Package just asked that what WTC terrain is. It's not the terrain from the Leviathan rulebook. It's actually, I'll let you take this one, Johnny.
So WTC terrain is a format that is, it's called the World Team Championships, right? And so it's the largest team championships in the world, basically. What they do is they go ahead and gather a team of 8 individuals from whatever countries want to participate. This year, the WTC is actually next week's, and I will actually be doing nightly recaps if you guys are interested in how it goes there. And basically, all the countries that are participating, we have 36 this year, are going to be 8-man teams. Each person has a different army, has a different index, and you can't have repeats of the index on the team. And there is a pairing process where you will decide which army from which team plays the other team's which army. And it's very, very exciting. And they also tend to have much denser terrain than other terrain formats. So, say games GW Open Terrain or Player Place Terrain or UKTC, which would be what they use in the UK. So, your WTC terrain tends to be much denser and it allows for a very different style of play. And so that's what Felix and I play. If you ever watch either one of us play on stream, which I mean, we play each other on stream, we play other people on stream, we do it all the time. You'll see us almost always use WTC style terrain. I think it is by far the most fun way to play the game.
Yeah, I agree.
And we will absolutely be keeping everyone up to date on how the tournament goes because it is a 7-rounder for 288 people, and it is the largest team tournament in the world. So that's very exciting. Okay, then we don't have much left. We have Mr. Gorkanot. Mr. Gorkanot is awesome. I freaking love him. I actually desperately want to put him in B, but I don't know if he makes it
last
there.
time.
Does he make it there?
We put him in B tier last time.
Does he stay there? Because I desperately want him to be there, but yeah, I think I need your opinion as well.
Here's, by definition, I think he's C tier because he can be used, but it's in a very certain way.
Shit, you're right. Yeah, we gotta stick to the definitions. We gotta stick to the definitions. All right, I like Orknot. I love him. He's awesome. He must be rapid ingressed. If you're taking him, you're planning on rapid ingressing him, which means your opponent knows you're rapid ingressing him. Because if you start him on the board, he will be shot to death. It's just how it is. But the fact that he can get the advanced charge, and he gets the innate +1 to hit when he charges is freaking awesome. I love him. He's amazing. He's very, very cool, and he is absolutely usable. It's just he does have to be used very particularly, exactly the way that we had defined C tier actually operates.
Yeah. So we have Daniel in the chat again use the Garg in a tournament, and some can't kill him, some can shred him. That's the thing. I don't want to take a unit to beat the ones I already beat harder. I want to take stuff that makes the harder matchups better for me. And the truth is, the harder matchups can kill the Gargantuan Squig off.
Yeah.
Like, that's Custodians can do it. LR can do it. Deathwatch can do it. Like, the list goes on. It just
does Deathwatch kill it?
Of a moment.
Yeah, but everything in their army is winning it on 6s.
Even the super crack. Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean fair.
Yeah, I don't actually think Deathwatch kills it. Not unless
maybe
they're
not Deathwatch.
Yeah, I don't think Deathwatch kills it. No.
But
I mean, they could wear it down for sure, but
yeah, but still have so many other armies. Like hell, Orks as well kill it. Holy. Like Orks kill it pretty much as easy as you kill a big knight.
With very particular units, yeah. If you have Squig Hogs and beast bosses, they can get into it. Sure, but that's the only way they get into it.
I'm assuming a competitive list, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, with all these, I would not base results on a single tournament. I would base stuff on consistent result and math, and just more games. Having a single tournament, you might have played into, say it's a free round, you might have played into 3 players that all haven't played against Orks, or that are less skilled, or brought inefficient list, depending on the size of the tournament. There's just not a lot of data
or
in one tournament.
Realistically, maybe you played your heart out and you kicked their ass, and that's awesome. Repeat the results, bring it to us, and we will change our damn minds. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, that's the thing. It's just not
because I want to change my mind. I really, really do, because I love the thing and I want to use it. So.
Nobody. We're not against it. We need it proven to work, and that's not been the case so far.
Yeah. So Morkanot's terrible. It got nerfed because it was dominating the meta too hard. The poor Morkanot.
Yeah, we put it C tier, and this we could not. It would have been C tier still if it wasn't for the panic nerf. It wasn't just a panic nerf for shooty in towering units across the board. It was a panic, not really thought out well, but it happened, and it's D tier.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yep. Then we have this. I think this is the kill tank here. Kill tank is not good. I really want it to be good, but when we did the math, and we will post the spreadsheets for you guys to look at in the description. You can also go back and check the first video if you want to watch us talk about it. But it's mathematically sucks. It's just not good.
Yeah, like the burst cannon is the only decent thing. You can do some damage, but it's not amazing. It's kind of a casino gun again. But it's not that. What is it, like 235? So it's still a lot of wounds. It's a tough model for points, and I would probably put it in C tier just for that.
You put the kill tank in C tier with its point cost?
What is it, like 235?
It's like 275, and its PPP is like, I think, the worst in the game.
Oh no, wait, the kill tank. Not against certain targets.
I mean, I'm sure you can find a target. Yeah.
It's pretty decent against Lairs Terminators actually. No, but it's think about the kill tank.
While you're
What's
thinking
the
about the kill tank, I'm putting the Stompa in D tier because it's way too damn
Oh,
expensive.
yeah.
And while
What's-
you're thinking about the freaking kill tank, I'm also putting the humble truck into the S tier.
Oh, yeah. The truck. We don't need. It's 50 points. It's 10 wounds, toughness 8. It does its job.
It's 305 points for the kill tank, sir.
Oh, 305.
305 points.
Ah, all right, D tier.
Yomi has a question here, so let me I'm actually really excited about this question. What points would the kill rig need to be reduced to for it to be considerable? Here's what the kill rig needs, okay? First off, the kill rig needs to return to hitting monsters and vehicles on 2s and not on 3s, which is a problem because it's not going to get that. It lost attacks, it lost damage, and all of its spells disappeared. So it also needs its ability to proc lethal hits and +1 strength automatically, or on a 2-up instead of the lethal hits only showing up on a 6-up. And it probably needs to drop all the way down to 160 from 220.
Yeah, the points might even need to go up in toughness a little. If I had to. Toughness 10 is not that great.
The unit just straight up doesn't work at all. It's not just points. It's the rules are bad. It's
the damage
the unit,
is bad.
They just kind of screwed up, to be honest, and I hate that. I hate it because I love it, and it was my baby from last.
And again, big base, hard to maneuver.
Which I can get over that. I can get over the hard to maneuver thing. I did all of 9th. I can get over it now too. But
then the rules were great for it.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't get over it anymore.
So we have a question that we kind of missed.
Oh.
What do you guys expect about the new unit that was shown on the rumor engine? Vehicle mounted or some kind of mech? So for those of you who don't know, they kind of rumor engined a shock rifle like the one on the shock jump dragster.
Let me see if I can pull it up actually.
Yeah. So it's not going to be a new shock jump dragster. The Speed Freak line is not that old. It might be I'm not sure if it might be a mech.
Was it on the GW's website?
I don't even remember.
No, I don't think it is. All right. Well, I try. I'll look again later.
Yeah, but it's the. I don't think it's a mech, and if it would be a mech, it would have to be some kind of mech on a war bike or some kind of mounted mech. Because the shock rifle is not really something you hold in a hand. That would be a custom Mega Blaster.
Although that would
the shock rifle is big. So, I hope for a new mounted mech.
Hey man, we will get a DACA index. We'll get a DACA detachment. It's gonna happen. Just hold on, you mad lads. You'll get what you need. Then we're looking at a few other things here. We got the Big Ed Boss Bunka. It's just garbage. And we have the mech shop. I'm going to briefly talk about the mech shop here, okay? If you're allowed to use it, you can stretch this thing all the way out to cover like almost half of the entire battlefield, which makes half the battlefield undeep strikeable. And the entire thing heals all your vehicles and gives everything cover. It is exceptionally good.
Yeah.
But
it's banned.
It's banned in a lot of competition. In the WTC, all player place terrain is banned, and because of that, I'm just going to keep it down here. I'm not even going to put it on the tier list just for that reason.
The boss bunker, because that's shit. Even if you get
the boss bunker is dog shit, so it stays down there. I am missing like a few things, like the big track and the grot tanks, so we can just talk about those briefly. I actually think grot tanks might have a place in this game.
Probably B tier.
Yeah, I think grot tanks actually have a real place. They've got a very interesting ability where they get to move when you move within range of them, and they are shooting their rocket launchers pretty well. I think now that Gretchen gets a benefit from detachment abilities, I think when we see our DACA detachment, grot tanks might see a real play to them.
I agree.
For now, I think they're actually usable. Maybe like 5 points too much. But a B tier seems like a reasonable place to put grot tanks.
Yeah, 155 for models. Shooting 5d3 rockets. You're taking rockets on them. You're not taking anything else.
Always.
We have the math to support it, of course. And also, we like the D3. But it's still, they need a detachment that supports them because our current detachment there's no stratagem support for them. There's no bonus for them. Waaagh doesn't really help them either, except with an involve.
No.
They just need something to boost them a little.
Yep. Yep, they need a little bit of a boost. And once they get it, man, I think those things can be nightmares for people. So, guys, get excited because when this codex drops, you're gonna have a lot more ways to play this army. And we already have a ton of ways to play this army,
Oh, yeah.
actually.
Oh, and also we have the big track. Big track probably C tier.
Yeah, I would
You need
say.
it needs to be played a certain way, and it has a specific purpose, which is you already have 6 trucks and you want more.
Mhm. And if you look at some of the WTC list, which are
Yeah.
like the teams tournaments we were talking about, you're seeing, I know Canada and America are,
Yeah.
because Lucas Troller out of America, who's an amazing Orks player, he's running 6 trucks with boys and then 3 big tracks with boys.
Yeah.
And that
That is
list serves a purpose. It beats the shit out of GSC and it
yeah.
probably crushes most Eldar lists it sees also. But it also probably sucks into everyone else. But that's the nature of teams list. Be careful when you guys look at teams list because while that's the way I prefer to play the game, it can be deceptive because you can see these lists that these amazing players are bringing. You can think that's the way to play the game. It's the way to play that list in a team setting. It's not a
Yeah.
teams list are not good in individual tournaments. So when we're doing this tier list, we're talking about individual tournaments.
Yeah. A point about that, the list to bring, it's 6 units of Snagas. It's not 9 units of boys, so it's 6 Snaga units and 3 boys units.
I don't think that's true. I can pull it
Really?
up here. Yeah.
Is it 3 Snagas and 6 boys?
Yeah, it's 3 Snagas, 6 boys.
Oh, well, okay.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just bodies.
Mhm.
And it's for teams.
Yep. So, yeah. And I think that's basically it, right? I mean, was there a Forge World that we need to talk about? Is there a Forge World that you guys need us to talk about real fast? Because I think we did the ones that matter. There might be
Grot Mega Tank isn't that great. It's kind of shit like D tier.
Yeah.
Let's just see if there's anything else we didn't talk about. Oh, the regular Squig Off, that's D tier as well.
Yeah, the Gargantuan actually might have play though, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Let's see if there are anything else we missed. Oh, the Mega and Mecha Dread, both in D tier as
They're
well.
so bad, man. I hate it.
Oh, 2 units, the Warboss on bike and the Knobs on Warbikes. Probably C tier for both.
Knobs and Warbikes?
No, the Knobs in D tier and the Warboss in C tier.
Yeah.
No, the Warboss in D tier as well. Like, why would you not take War Track instead?
All right, cool. So we got a question here from Mark Azoff, and I want to answer it. So the Mecha Drag, 2 up armor, self heal D3, 2 up to hit, double claw twin, 7 attacks, 12 strength, rapid ingress, GW terrain. He likes it a lot. Could you break down the math for us real fast?
No, let's bring up the the Mecha Dread. So pause to hit. Which weapon was it? The Twin Claw.
He wants to do the Twin Claw.
So it's a good PvP into the big units. Looking at the damage, the Mega, was it the Mega?
Mecha, yeah.
Mecha with Twin Link, with every buff, the Waaagh bonus, the War Tribe, the Twin Linked, you average about 8.5 damage against Terminators.
That's 2 dead Termies.
A Rhino, 10.4 damage.
Oof.
The Alaris would be 7.8 damage.
1 Alaris, that's 65 points.
Bellacorv would be 7.8 damage.
Oof.
A Big Knight, 8.6 damage. Arminger or War Dog, 8.6 as well.
And he costs what, like 220 something?
I don't remember his cost, honestly.
Maybe might be a little cheaper than that.
And here's the thing with sure it's GW's train, but here's the thing with why I hate I will never ever bring a unit that the main plan is to rapid ingress. Here's why: if you go first, your plan is kind of bad right now, because that means you don't bring him in and get to use him until your turn 3.
Pretty much.
If that's the plan. Okay. Rapid ingress is a plan B. It's not something you plan on. I need to do this.
I don't necessarily agree with you there, but I understand the spirit of what you're saying. It's not as simple as just saying, "Oh, I'm bringing this guy so I can rapid ingress on turn 2." It definitely is not that simple.
Sure. But the Mecha Dread, we still have the thing like, why not other options?
Yeah, so we got Blancers saying the Mecha Dread would be for the Charge Mortals, because with plus tank shot, that's a strength 15 weapon in Waaagh. That's actually pretty cool. and don't get me wrong, it's a cool little trick, but I don't think it justifies costing what 10% of your entire army
So
to do that once.
the charge will average 5.6 morals
Yeah,
in that case, but that's also spending 1 CP.
it's 1 CP that costs 5 mortals,
and rapid ingress would be another CP.
So that's 2.
And that's still expensive. So yeah, because we have CP for so many good things: exploding 5s, fight on death, fight interrupt, and sometimes the here we go, which I'm not using that often actually.
So Bob Benji. So what I'm getting from this is run almost everything Snagga, trucks, and some grots. All the Snaggas are great. Trucks are amazing. We like some grots. But we love, honestly, look at the tier list here, guys. I mean, we've got a bunch of units that are really quite usable. S through B is like, you don't even have to argue for it. It's just good. Your C tier, you can make an argument for it, and your D tier, you're just never going to play it. So, like, realistically, we have so many options here. It's not limited at all.
Oh, it's 230 points to make it red?
Oh, 230 Tomcat. Oh my gosh, coming in hot with the support.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay.
That's
not Tomcat. When you just said that to me, you hurt me so bad. I have to beg my wife to bring me a beer now. Okay. That's how badly that just hurt me. She's in the kitchen and she's oh gosh, Karina, I need help. Save me. Good, she's saving me. All right, she's coming in.
Oh, someone just got here. Is Normal Smash Squig in A tier as well?
Yep.
Yes, they are both there.
We just included them as one unit.
Yeah. So just to emphasize it as well, the tiers itself, there's no order. Like we're not saying that the Beast Boss is the best S tier unit, like probably is though. But let's take another example.
No, the truck is 100% the best S tier.
Okay, fair. So it's just these are in S tier. There's no order inside it. We could rearrange them, but there's no real point in doing so.
Real fast, because I think we're going to close off pretty soon. Putting them in a battle wagon. Can you say the battle wagon needs to be built around? Can you elaborate? So, Cooper, this is your thing. Can you just talk about how you build around the battle wagon? And I think then we're probably going to start closing it down. Unless someone wants to pay me, in which case I'll of course stay on later. But I love you all.
All right. So I've run the battle wagon quite a few times, and I did it against Johnny as well. So here's the idea about it. It's tough. It's expensive. It's way too expensive, but it does something that nothing else really in the army does, which is you can send it up turn 1, touch an objective, and pretty much 9 out of 10 times it will be alive until turn 2. Because you have a free up save, a toughness 12, and then you have armor contempt, so -1 AP, and then you have cover because 10th edition you have cover. So that means that AP -2 still a free up save. AP -4 is a 5 up save still, so you don't even need an involve.
It's kind of cool.
And it's still OC5, so they can't just always send trash forward. And touch it with like 1 or 2 models to deny the scoring. It has some DACA as well to clear some screens. The melee it's melee at least. And it's a great staging point for knobs and snaggas. You can also have grots inside it, but the knobs definitely inside it. Mm-hmm. And against stuff like Necrons or Wraithguard, since Wraithguard lost the pistol ability, ram it into that unit like a big 10-man and never worry about it again. You won't really kill it. You are not effective at killing it. Just leave it in combat and watch it do nothing.
Yeah, that seems pretty eloquently put. That's basically how you use it. But yeah, it's definitely something that you have to specifically plan for, which is why it is in the C tier. So everyone, this was awesome. We greatly appreciate all of your attention. This was our update to the Ork tier list. We have a bunch of content coming up on this channel. We're going through other tactical tier lists for other armies. Right now, I just posted a TTS a tabletop simulator tutorial yesterday. I've got the second part of that coming out hopefully tonight. It might be tomorrow morning because I had to reshoot it. I am putting battle reports up. I'm putting tactical advice for tons of things on here. If you like that, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Please give a follow to Boss Cooper, and we will put a link to Mr. Cooper Felix's channel here in the description. And please give him a follow. He regularly streams CTS games, and he does a great job of teaching on that. And he and I also tend to fight quite a bit, which is always fun to watch as well. You guys are freaking awesome for your attention. This is great. We had a ton of people in the chat, and thank you so much for being active. It makes this so much more fun and engaging for us because we do put a lot of time into this, and we just love the fact that you appreciate it. So we're 100% got more, and we're going to keep bringing it to you. Yeah, I think that's it. So I think we'll probably close it out, and hope everyone has an amazing night. Should we do a Waaagh real fast?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. We're gonna
Headphone warning.
Headphone warning, everyone. Okay, so Felix, you can go first.
Oh, we're doing a Waaagh?
Oh, we're doing a Waaagh. You first.
I'm gonna break the mic.
Yeah, I know. that was pretty impressive. My wife's about to hate me. So anyway.
Do it.
Whoa!
Oh, amazing.
All right, everybody.
I heard a sigh.
Until next time, we'll see.